but a lot of things are there, of course. Guys, here it's a package management. Package management or a installation of software in a Linux or a Linux. Okay, so mainly we are talking about in a Linux. So package management or installation of any software, how to do it, and what is this package kind of stuff. If you take Windows operating system, if you take any Windows operating system, so what is your package? Like you want to install an application. So what is the name of that application is look like? Like we are double click on something, then application will install, right? So how the name is look like?
.exe.
Very good. So like a generally setup.exe. If you download an application, it is in the form a folder inside setup.exe will be there. Or maybe for example, you download a VLC player. So VLC.exe or with a version name, okay, something like a version 10 and .exe will be there. If you download VMware Workstation, VMware Workstation.exe 64-bit.exe, like that it will be there. It's a kind of legacy setup. What is .exe is a self-executable, means if you double click on it, how to execute the a script, so then how to install it. So once you are installing in an application, what are the folders will affected copying the files of internal files to some location. So the package means an application in a different directories are there. Actual application is in different directories. We combine all together and pack with a simple .exe, means single file you can able to see. As a single file you can able to see. If you double click on .exe file, what happen? It executes, a script will be there inside, it will execute and it will show the screen like installation options, and the internal program files will be stored in a different locations, like entry in a registry, application entry in the registry, application data stores in a program files, or a program files x86 or a program data, like that. Create a shortcut on a desktop, create a shortcut in a start menu, like that. So what to do, that .exe script will be do that one. So what is this one? It is a package the different directories of application into a single file. And also there is a one more extension is there, that is called .msi. What is .msi? Microsoft installer. Microsoft installation or a installer. Microsoft installer. Like you can go to the run and type MSI, you will get a what is MSI kind of stuff also. In the background, Microsoft installer will be run inside. Okay, Microsoft installation package. It's actually Microsoft installation package. So different applications. Some of applications are .msi format also by Microsoft .NET framework. So they will do it. So when you're installing Windows applications, what happens? When you double click on that application, automatically in Windows system, we have a Win32 .NET framework knows how to execute that one. It will execute run the application. Okay. Next one in a Linux. In a Linux, also we have a packaging with a .rpm packages. .rpm. The package name is .rpm. Generally, so like you download an application, you want to install some application like a Java application you want to download. So or maybe a Jenkins application you want to download. MySQL you want to download and install. Okay, what happened? It is the form in the .rpm format. So this is a simple .rpm format, and you can install the .rpm format into the Linux PCs. Okay. Like depends upon your operating system, different type of packages are there in the sometimes it may not be in the package format also. Understand whether it is a Windows or Linux. Mostly in Windows in a package manner or individual files, but in Linux, not always .rpm format. Sometimes it is only files you will get it, and you should decide how to install it, or you have to create your own installation method also. Okay, own installation method places also. So in a Linux, it is not always .rpm format. Sometimes they'll give you script formats like there is a setup.sh kind of things also will give it like this. With either it is different names or a normal name like a setup.exe type like a different names are there. No, so same thing like a setup.sh or a some application name.sh. Some script file is there. The script file, if you are execute, how to execute the script file is simple like a dot slash setup dot sh. So like this, if you execute this, if you run this file, automatically application also will be installed. Sometimes we have to install with by creating a make installation methods. Okay, make install or install commands also there. It depends upon the package and which language it is written like that. Again, another comparison in a Windows and Linux package management. Okay, so when your installation of application, when you usually by general I'm telling, see program files. If it is a nowadays we have a 32-bit, 64-bit mixed configurations are there now. So then I'm writing both the things x86. So if you are a 64-bit Windows 10 or Windows 8 systems or Windows 7, you have two folders. Depends upon your application 32-bit, 64-bit. The application data stores in the program files mainly, and it also create a shortcuts and all second things also there. But in a Linux, it stores under /usr. Okay, program data. Your actually program or application data stores by default locations are this one. Of course, you can install applications in a different locations also. Even myself, when I install any games or maybe some application, it not always go to the program files. It go to different locations. Okay, so in usually in a window Linux it is stores in a slash under usr. Okay. Um, you know why Windows is more affect with the virus kind of stuff? Why virus is not reacts? Even virus file you put it in a Linux, but it won't run automatically. So why? Because of self
Because
execution.
Linux, yeah. So because Linux is all files. Okay.
Yeah, it's a filing system and everything manually you have to do it. It is whenever it is
Right.
find some .exe, it won't execute that one. It won't execute .exe. Even though if you copy a RPM, RPM won't execute automatically. A lot of dependencies. The structure is a little bit complex for a as we compare to Windows direct installations. No self executable, everything we have to do on ourselves only. Okay, so this is one of the difference for a basic understanding only. It is not in the PPT, that's why I'm telling this one. Okay, because maybe people will ask question, right? Where is this location of the program files in Linux and Windows, and what is the format of package in the Windows and Linux? So this is a very simple thing. And of course, in Linux, so many ways to install an application is there. Okay, so this is the regular format is .rpm package. For RPM also there is a abbreviation is there. So sir, not written here, no problem. Linux Red Hat Package Manager. Red Hat Package Manager. Okay, so RPM is an extension for installation of RPM packages. For example, I want to install a package in a Linux PCs. The command is RPM. RPM. Yeah. Package command is RPM, and you have to tell what is the package you want to install. So, for example, I want to install Apache HTTPD hyphen something version. So, whatever the version it is, it package is look like EL7 64. Okay, it's like a package name is there, like a name of the package, version of the package, and it will work in a which kind of Linux it will work. You know, in a Linux, it is also one more important thing is always verify which edition of your Linux it is. Here I'm using a CentOS 7. CentOS 7. CentOS is a Linux. That's it. Red Hat Linux. Red Hat is an organization. Red Hat built a enterprise Linux operating system, and it is distributed to the people through Red Hat. CentOS is an organization. CentOS built a Linux, their own Linux operating system based on Linux kernel and distributed to people. Red Hat 7, CentOS 7, both are same. Both are similar operating systems only. Only the basic environment will be changes. Installation method may be a little bit different, but all commands, all the structure is same only. So these things we call it as a ELs. EL means Enterprise Linux.
So CentOS is designed by which organization?
CentOS only.
CentOS only. Okay. And sir, this RPM extension is same in all the enterprises of Linux, or is it only for the Red Hat enterprise?
No, almost all ELs. Any EL, different ELs are there. For example, CentOS is one of the enterprise Linux. Red Hat Enterprise Linux.
So,
Red Hat two types are there actually. Red Hat Enterprise Linux, only Red Hat Linux. Again, that is again different. Oracle Enterprise Linux.
okay. So all these organizations use RPM extension only.
Yeah, yes, right. So
Almost.
dot RPM used by different things, not only a Linux, Windows. Sorry, not only Linux, Unix also dot RPM only. Unix, Linux, different Linuxes dot RPM only. But not always the dot RPM. Point is a different type of installation are there. My point is which edition. So if you are a enterprise Linux type, you are a CentOS 7, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or Oracle Enterprise Linux, you have to verify this one. Okay, are you enterprise Linux or not? First question. Okay, are you using enterprise Linux or not? That's the first one. Second one, which edition? Which edition? For example, you are using a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.3, right? Okay, so if you are using Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6.3 operating system, now I want to download an application and I want to install that application. So what to see? So for example, same package, Apache HTTPD, some version, and you have to look at this one. EL6 is there or not, and 32-bit 64 like a AMD 64 or X64. X64 means Intel 64. AMD 64 means AMD machine 64-bit. Okay, so like that. Just for an example, I am telling EL6. Normally people think it is E16. It is not E16. EL, Enterprise Linux 6. The package can be installed in this particular Enterprise Linux. So your operating system, Enterprise Linux or not, and which edition, are you belongs to that edition or not? That's compulsory. You have to check it. So Apache, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, something. This is a package name. This is completely.
So what is that HTTPD?
What? Which one? Yeah, this is a
HTTP.
application name. Normally web server, Apache web server, application name, like VLC player.
No, sir. The HTTP is protocol, but what is that D?
Okay, D means daemon. Daemon. Name is there, no? Like this. Yeah, it is in a green color. Put it in red color, then daemon. What is this? Angel. This is daemon.
The Angel Priya.
Who is Angel Priya?
It's a meme, sir.
Okay.
Most of the guys who uses accounts as a girl.
Okay. I think I heard that name.
Yeah, it's very famous.
Okay. So that is a D means daemon. Okay. It's a totally a name. Okay. So we'll go to HTTPD again. VSFTPD. Okay. That is I will explain again. But at present, think it is a application name, versions. Okay. For example, maybe it's an accurate version. What it is?
That Apache is there, no? APAC
Apache is an organization,
Okay.
not bike.
It's a server. It's a Apache HTTP server, sir.
Yes.
Server.
Apache web server. Apache is an organization. They build HTTPD. And Apache is an organization. They build Tomcat. CSC people know compulsory this one. Tomcat. Tomcat is also a web server, application and web server. Not enterprise server, but application web server. Apache is an organization. Maven is a build and test tool. Apache Ant build and test tool. Apache is an organization. It builds a lot of open source applications. So that is the organization. This is so totally a application at present. Okay. Not compulsory. Why I am telling think only this is as an application, because different applications having a different names also there. Okay. Right. So even myself, I have a lot of RPMs in my system. Types. Find out where is the RPM application means .exe will come up. Okay, we'll go to the application extensions. Applications, no, that application extensions. These are our .exes only. Yeah, we have a big list is there. So, RPM files. No, it definitely shows RPM files. I removed application check mark. Can you see JDK? So suddenly I am become slow again. It's okay. No problem. So can you see it's a RPM froze, release, sum, and EL7. So out of all, what are the common things? Either left to right or right to left. I'm going to right to left. RPM common.
64-bit dot RPM
Yes. This is 64
and
bit.
Intel processor.
X 64 bit. This is 64 bit. 64. What is this? No ARCH. No architecture.
So basically, it's a Linux file. I don't know. No.
No arc means no architecture. Here, architecture is specified. 32 bit or a
Sir,
64 bit.
Can we run this .rpm files in Windows?
No, we can't run. We need a RPM based Linux subsystem is required. Now Windows 10 and Windows servers can support Linux based systems. Means you can run Linux things in this one, but in generally we cannot do it because Linux commands won't work here, right? That's again that runs in a separate way. So you have to run in a Linux environment. So now there is that another setup. But frankly, it means like directly say we cannot run. So why we go to the other things? See, this is a Vagrant. Vagrant is an application version, and this is architecture.rpm. JDK, Java Development Kit, version, Linux base, x64, RPM. Tableau is an application, and under Tableau, PostgreSQL is an application, ODBC connection related one. Okay, and this is the version architecture. If you look at MySQL connector Python, and this is a version. Okay, MySQL connector for Python. This is, and if you see EL7 specified here, it means it works in a enterprise Linux 7 only, not in 8, not in a 6. Okay. And it's 64-bit architecture and RPM package. But this one, they specified no arc. It means it may work in a both 32-bit and as well as a 64-bit, and it is a CentOS 7 it will work. Okay, so like that. This is the different RPM packages in my system, of course, currently. Okay, so package names can be like this. So name of the application, versions, and on which platform it will work, and whether 32-bit or 64-bit or a RPM. So 64 32-bit represent either in a AMD 64 or x64 or x86 underscore 64. So look at that package and decide what it is, what kind of application it is, and what version it is, and which enterprise Linux it will run, and which architecture it is, 32-bit, 64-bit, or a no architecture it is. Okay, so AMD 64 or x64 or x86 underscore 64. Difference is this is a AMD 64 means AMD processor. This is, it's not telling any AMD or Intel. It is 64. This is, it's a Intel 64. This is Intel 64. If it is a x86, i3 86, i5 86, this represent 32-bit. Sometimes they will write 32-bit only. Sometimes they will write .32-bit only. Depends upon. Okay, in for 64-bit also they will write like a in the text. So either this one or this one or this one or 64-bit for a 64-bit type of application. And if architecture is not specified, either it is 32-bit, 64-bit, no arc. It is a no arc, means no architecture. It is not a 32-bit, not a 64-bit, no architecture. No, architecture is not specified. Some packages comes with SRC. If you check a package, for example, same package I'm typing Apache HTTPD. So why I'm typing everything? I can show you directly. Guys, when I'm doing something in a Linux means it is like we can learn like this also. It does not mean I don't know, I'm searching in Google and I'm showing the in a Google is wrong like that. No. You should not tell Google answers. That's remember that point. Okay. Okay. Apache is an organization. HTTP is a server. If you go to the download, maybe you will get a different kind of stuff like dat.bz. It means it is a what we can say that bz and gz is a compressed files and binary files also there. Okay, these are a binary files. So it means internal files directly they are giving internal files on. Okay. Files for Windows, that is a Windows one. SRCs, I am searching for SRC. This is a beta version. No, it is not available here. Okay, so but when you see a SRC thing, it is a source code file. Okay, so like this is something it is showing. So we'll take an example from Apache. No, something it is for example 2.24 x64 src dot rpm. What is this src? Src means it's a in a Linux the applications also open source files, right? So then it's a source code file. Okay, like you want to create your own like you want to take the source code and develop for your organization for yourself, then you can take the source code and develop yourself also. Okay, not a direct user packages. .rpms are normally, these packages are normal packages like we can install directly, but src packages are a source code packages. Generally we should not download that kind of stuff. We don't require. Why? Because we are not a programmer to take the source code and develop. So if you are a programmer, Linux programmer, then you can take it and look at the source code and you can develop the next version, or maybe you can create your own version for yourself. Also, you can able to it. That is a source code files. And there is other different type of naming structures are there. So be careful when you are downloading. When you see a package with a tar.gz or tar.bz2 or like this extension, both are same, that's why I'm writing there tbz2 or xyz like that, xz. Okay, kind of stuff it is showing like that. Showing it, this meaning is, okay, these are all archive and compressed files. Any application with a extension like this, it means it is archived. Like a WinRAR is there, no? WinRAR in Windows, WinRAR in Linux, tar. Actually Windows WinRAR came from the Linux tar only. So tar means it is like a compressed file, archived file means different files in the simple a zip folder or a WinRAR folder. .rar folder is there, no? Like a WinRAR has a extension is .rar extension is there. Same thing in a Linux, it is a tar. What is this gz and vz? It is a, in Windows we have a zip to compress, right? So compress is in the zip format. So in a Linux we use ZZ, BZ2 like this. So different zip formats are there. Basic zip formats are these two, ZZ and BZ2. Got the point, guys? Linux compression files. So you want an application, if it is in a compressed format, you have to take that application, you have to first uncompress it and unarchive it. First you have to uncompress it and unarchive it. So then you will get the application. So then we have to install application or a data. You can get it from the file. It is archived and compressed format. So when you see in a package, it is not, sometimes it is not .rpm or anything. So look at what is that naming structures, extensions. Look at those extensions. So then you will understand what it is. Okay, guys, understand these points, what I told RPM, Windows and Linux application differences. Up to here. Or any confused or anything you want to pick anything, no problem. I will explain it again.
Sir, what actually happens when a file is being compressed? Like how the size is reduced?
That is again compression technique. Depends upon what type of technique you use it. Zip, WinZip, Win7z. So different type of techniques are there in both Windows and Linux also. So depends upon your compression technique. Just I'm telling, but I'm not going details. Any data is in the format of binary format only. The
Binary.
basic format is binary format, but we are looking at normal letters. This is converted into ASCII, ASCII to binary, right? So they'll take the data and they will reduce certain repetitional things. So they will estimate where it is repetition. For example, I have a lot of zeros are there. So for example, how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it will compress like this. Even I didn't remember. Almost my engineering is so many years back. Even we don't have that particular subject in the engineering also. CSC people has this one compression things. Okay, like a lot of ones are there. So this ones will represent like this. So compression means actually data. So what are the repeated patterns and all? So they change it to as a single one. So it is so many zeros are there, or 10 10 10 or 110 110 110. So they will automatically compress into a single representation only. Okay, for example, 2 2 2 3 4 4 5 5 5 5. It is there, for example. So I'm telling 2 3s are there, and there is a 3 4 4 and 5 4 times repeated. It is like the length is reduced, right? Data length is reducing. That's it. Data is not
Okay, sir.
actually compression. It is length is compression. This is one technique. There are several techniques are there. This is one technique.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. And of course, WinRAR and all, how much data after compression will occur? That is practically we have to do it in a thing. Okay. Now one thing, it is EL. Okay, EL7. It means Enterprise Linux 7. Okay, EL7. Lot of people think it is 17, not 17. It is E, L, and 7. Enterprise Linux 7. So there is a difference between Enterprise Linux 7 and 6 is also there. Okay, so based on that internal architecture and all kind of stuff. So anyway, it is a Linux based systems. If you take 6, 5, 7 or 8, basic commands are same thing only. Only few things will be changes like a service management, network management, NMTUI, TUI management kind of stuff will be changed. Okay, guys, we'll go to main part of RPM kind of stuff. Already I told if I have an application, so like I can install an application using a RPM and application name. Again, I'm typing Apache only. Some version, for example, 2.2. For some example, EL7. Okay, and it is 64 RPM. Sometimes dot, sometimes underscores, hyphens are there. Okay, so you have to look it. So what is the command to install this application is I. I is a command. I means install, R means X means remove, like that it will be there. So you have to check the options anyway. So I is represent install this application. I represent install this application. We represent verbose. We represent verbose. Verbose means when you install some application in Windows operating system, something it shows now file copying or something, a blue line is going on, right? So when you are installing or copying your files, it shows the progress window. You're copying a data from one drive to another drive or your system to your pen drive. So what happened? A progress window will show now how much data is copied. Okay, how much data is going to be there. So graphically it will show. So like that in a terminal, so we don't know what is going on, right? It is stopped for a certain period of time. So then we think it's struct. But to get that information, what is going on background, so that is, it will show on our foreground. What is going on in background, it shows on our foreground by using V command. V means verbose. VRVOSE, verbose. H represent hash. Sometimes some applications, not directly an application, it is also comes with some hashing inside, like some key will be there. Like if you have that key, then only you can able to install kind of stuff, or you download an application using that one. So this is the option IVH. Okay, if you use I also it will work, IH also it will work. Okay, RPM IVH. In some applications install happily directly without any problem, it will install, no problem. Sometimes, only sometimes. Okay, sometimes it will throw an error, dependencies not resolved. I download an application, and after I download an application, I use RPM command to install this application. So it is saying dependencies not resolved. Okay, and you have to download a particular application, not just a name. You cannot give, just you have to give complete application name also. First is you need application download, and second one is you have to give complete name. You have to search where is the location and give the location and RPM command, and after that one. So first of all, I will download your application. Okay, and which location you downloaded, so that is important. Next one is, okay, give RPM command with the full name of your application, and you have to pre-install requirements. So you have to do pre-install package requirements. Before installation of this application, if application is having any dependencies, so then You have to install the dependencies first, and then only you can able to install this application. So that is about your RPM. So RPM. So to use, you can use a command with RPM and download installation of application. But problem with that one is either it is application installed directly, happily, no problem. But sometimes it is required to install dependencies first. It is required to install dependencies first, or you have to tell where is the dependencies, or you have to download all the dependencies. So what is it is? It is required to install dependencies before install RPM. Okay, before you install your application. Okay, it is required to install a dependencies before installation, or give location of dependency packages. So you have to tell these are, here it is a dependency package available, so automatically it will install. Okay, it automatically install dependencies, then application will install. So this is a difficulty we can face in a regular manner. Next one, how to avoid this kind of situation, because do you know what are the dependencies are required? We don't have that much of always correct knowledge, right? Sometimes compulsory to know it, to what dependencies requirements, but sometimes for everything we don't know. For everything, for dependencies we don't know. So what I'm going to do is, here guys, understand, it is not always downloading a particular application, again searching for a dependencies, download dependencies, install with the dependencies, or install dependencies, and then one. Sometimes dependencies also require another dependencies. Sometimes dependencies also required other dependencies. So okay, you have to install a dependency, you have to install some other dependencies. Okay, these are all not from any textbook and or anything. There is no textbook, nothing is there for this one, because it's a lot of experience and failures. I got this information. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I need a paint to explain this one. Commands are very simple, guys, but understand why we are doing these commands. That is important. What I'm going to do is, I took a machine, a physical machine, Linux machine. I took a Linux machine, and I copy all my requirement packages, all packages of Linux. Okay, I created a folder name in my Linux location, packages. Okay, so and I put a slash, for example, just for example, to understand location map. In my slash drive only, I created a packages folder, and I put all the packages. What I done? I create a folder, name is packages, and I put all packages in the packages folder. I create a folder or a directory, whatever it is, slash packages, and I put all packages in slash packages. means all dot RPMs, both dependencies, non-dependent. Whatever I find, like all kind of Linux packages when I found, so I put everything into that one only. Okay. Now I will tell, I put a command called a create a repo. No. Create repo slash packages. What happened? This command will create a database, a simple database in that folder only. It will create a database of package information. What are the packages are there in my slash package? What are the packages are there in the packages? So I use it to create a repo command. So what happened? It creates a database of package information. It is a database creates. Okay. Now either I use in a local for a local purpose, or maybe be for central purpose. Maybe local purpose or a central purpose. For example, this is my Lin1 PC. Okay, Lin1 PC. PC name is Lin1. A Linux one, whatever it is, a name you can put it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a file. Name is something like local.rp repo in Linux one. Okay. So I created a file, local.repo file. In this local.repo file, I will tell something like, for example, local. It is a heading. It's a script we have to write. So you have to tell a name, my local repo, and you have to give a location. Package. You have to give location, and of course there is a few more things are there, like a enable. 1 means enable it. 0 means disable. Enable 1 means enable it. Enable 0 means disable it. So of course you can put a comment also for that one. So I am putting enable 0 means it's disable. Guys, while I am telling, it is look like you don't understand. So if you don't understand, it is okay, because it is you're looking at first time, and I'm keep going on this one. I will repeat. I don't repeat, but I will link everything what I'm telling, and I will repeat again. So then you will understand. Okay. So don't worry. So if you don't understand, it is not your problem, and not my problem also. Okay. So next one is, sometimes to access the packages, you may need a key. So that is called a GPG key. Okay. So you have to specify the GPG key, or you can disable the GPG key also. Okay. You can disable so you can tell a GPG key is a 0 kind of stuff. Okay. Either you specify it, or you can remove it also. Important thing is, see, it is name, package location, enable or not. If in case key is required, then we can use the key. Otherwise, we can disable the key pattern also, or remove that one. So this is my local repository. Okay, I will show you the location of where this dot repo files located. I will show you directly. So don't worry that one. Now, what I done? I copy all the packages into the package folder, and I create a file called a local.repo in a Linux. I will tell the location. Okay, /etc/m.repo.d/ location is there. /etc/m.repo repos d. That's it. So these are a repository files. This is the location. In this location, these are repository files by default. Okay, so you need to create it. That's why I'm telling
What
directly.
are the repository files?
What is repository file?
Yes, sir.
Very good. What is this repository file? Is repository file contains information of our package location or a package database location. Okay, where is your packages are located, that information is in the .repo files. Okay, different resources are there now, so I'm telling you here local only. Okay, so what to do? Got the point? What is .repo? Where is your packages located? Information in .repo file.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Got it? Where is your package location? That is very important to understand. Thanks for asking. Okay. Where am I? Yeah. In my machine, I will put a yum clean all. It means any queries happened earlier, the cache yum queries will be removed. That's it. Yum repo list. When I put a yum repo list command, what happens? It will check the repo file. Okay, and what is the location of packages, and whether it is enabled keys. Also, it will verify. And important one is location of packages. So it download package database. It download package related database, because when you use a create repo, a database is created, right? So packages database, it download the package database into your local PC. Next, you want to install some application. So directly, like you want to query about it. Yum info package name, something like, for example, I'm using same package, Apache, or maybe not Apache, HTTPD star, because I don't know extensions and all kind of stuff, versions I don't know. I put a HTTPD or HTTPD star anything. So it will give you package is already installed in your PC or not, package is available to install, or dependencies are available, like entire list you will get it, how much space it will occupy, the information of package you will get it. Next, yum install HTTPD, or you can give extensions, stars, question mark, whatever it is, full name you can give it, or maybe only HTTPD, like that. Automatically it will install. So you don't need to download anything. It will take, it will download from your package folder and into your local PC, and it install automatically. Okay, and of course it will ask yes or no kind of stuff. You have to give yes for a installation. Now you don't want, just very simple, tell the package to remove. HTTPD represent package name. Okay, not complete actually HTTPD is there or not. I'm not talking about that one. Simple, for example, I'm telling HTTPD as a package name. You don't want it, you can remove the package. Next. Okay, guys, understand up to here? First of all, the repository file contains location of our packages, and when you put a repos list, it download package related database, not packages, only database is download. Next, when you query about yum info package name, So then automatically we'll get whether package is already installed in your PC, availability of packages, size of the packages, version of the packages, like that it will show. When you say yum install httpd, automatically you will get to install installation will start, and also it will resolve your dependencies because the dependency package is also available in your packages folder. Dependencies will be resolved, the packages will be installed, and dependencies will also be installed automatically. Updates are required, automatically it will do updates. So what happens, it resolves dependency packages, or if any require, means existing one require update, it will do update also. That is the main thing of using a yum and this package kind of stuff. So what is the remove? To remove, the command is yum remove httpd directly. I'm going on directly, but I will tell you other scenario of course, but just simple, what is another advantages? You want to update your packages, just simply put a yum update. You want to update your system or update your packages, simply command is yum update. If you want to wait for a press Y and you don't want to wait for a press Y, then use -y, it means yes automatically. -y means yes directly. So yum update -y for updating your system and system packages. Like you install operating system, but meantime the installed applications, background databases, or your system, your Linux kernel, everything is updated, right? So what happened this one? Everything is should be updated, right? So then it is like yum update. Normally I use this command like this because after update compulsory you have to do reboot. So I'm writing in a second yum update to update entire update. This is yum update. You want to update, okay? So you want to update a specific application, for example app 1. So for example application, for example I took an example app 1. I will take an example is httpd as an example only. So update httpd. You want to update only one application or a specific program. You want to update specifically, okay? So generally, in general, I use like this. Okay, after installation of operating system, you have to do like this: yum update -y. It means yes, ampersand reboot, means update and reboot. The meaning is very simple: update system and reboot. Because each and every update you have to reboot, like the entire system you are updated, your operating system, your kernel versions, or any default applications in a basic your bash, everything will be get updated. So once it is updated, compulsory you have to do reboot. Again you have to wait for reboot. Update will take a 10 to 15 minutes or a 20 minutes or maybe a 1 hour, depends upon your system size and system applications internally. Okay, once it is get updated, it will take lot of time, and you are forget. Meanwhile you slept or like that, like yesterday I slept without shutting down any system. Okay, like you forget to put a reboot after immediately, no problem. So use ampersand reboot. Ampersand represent end. It means if first function is successful, do the second function. Pipe pipe. This is pipe pipe. Represent logical OR. Meaning is if first command success, then execute second command. If first command success or not, then execute second. Or better to put a fail. Okay, it is even is a conditional because you have to test it properly. Normally better it is exactly, even if first command is fail, success or failure, execute the second one. Normally or means you even first is success or not, no problem, execute the second one. Okay, so that is a or means. But in a Linux it will work like that. If first is failure, then do the second one. And means if first is successful, then do the execute the second one. So this is the meaning. Okay, so what it is, when update is completed successful, do the reboot. Okay, so this is pure generally I'm telling. Okay, so this is a most, if you are using a Linux, you are a Linux fan or a Linux king, so these are the commands is very useful. Okay, so now I'm adding a small scenario for this one. What it is, where is my packages, guys? Where is my packages folder located?
Sir, in root only right now, /
system name, like some system name, Linux 1. Okay, for example, my packages are located in location 1, and I created a local packages. For example, I have another PC. PC name is Linux 2 PC or L2 PC. Better put a capital L2 PC. Okay, my Linux 2 PC. Again, may I have to copy all the packages? Creating local repositories is required. We are all in a network, so we can able to access, right? We are all in a network, and I have a lot of PCs are there in my network. A lot of Linux PCs are there. For each and every PC, you have to copy all the packages every time. It is not at all good. Yeah, lunchtime, I got it. This is one example, and one more example I will tell, and I will give you a break. Okay, so don't worry. Even I didn't eat anything because I didn't woke up earlier. Okay, so for every time you have to copy all the packages into each individual files and create a repository kind of stuff. Not at all good. So what I'm going to do is, in this one, I will create just a repo file only. Okay, repository file. For example, I'm creating something name apps.repo. Some name, whatever the name is not a thing, just name for a name purpose only. Okay, I create a file called apps.repo. In this one, I specify the location of packages. I specify location of packages. I will tell in this file, this is the location of packages. I will tell here location of packages here. So I don't need to copy every time. So what I'm doing is, the packages are in L1 PC. Packages are in L1 PC. Same thing I will do here also. Here also I'm doing like this. I'll create a .repo file. In this repo file, I will specify location of packages. Packages are in L1. Packages are in L1. Packages are in L1. Like that. Have to specify in all the PCs. Create a repo file. Packages are in L1 PC. How to access? Using some protocol. HTTP, FTP, different protocols we can use to access this one. NFS, different protocols we can use to access that one. Depends upon how you share from here. How you share from here, based on that I will use it. I share with HTTP, I share with FTP, I share with NFS. Depends upon that I will access from there to here. Very simple, right? So in a Linux one, I have a packages. Okay, so I have a package folder is there. Okay, so in a Linux 2, what I'm going to do is access packages from Linux 1. No. L1 is a better option. So what I'm going to do is simple. Here I share this thing, share over different protocols, like either it is HTTP, FTP, or NFS, like any sharing I can use it and access through the sharing only. So here in a Linux 2, what I'm going to do is I create a apps.repo. Here I put a name of my repository name, then name I will write, it is apps in Linux 1, some name. Okay, so location you have to give. So like a location, like file is equal to for example over http colon my L1 IP address or a name, if you know the name, slash pub slash packages, if it is in a pub. Otherwise not in a pub, then directly also. Okay, so how to share it, that is a different thing, so we don't worry about it. Okay, so like that. If it is a FTP, here FTP will come. GPG keys are there, then you can specify the GPG. So what happens when you specify? So I have to put a yum repo list. The command in a Linux 2. This is entirely Linux 2. Okay, I put a command yum repo list. What happens? Yum repo command will check this repo file and the content of repo file, location of the file. So it make a connection to this PC and find out packages and download the package database. What happened? It checks package location and make a connection, connect, and then download package database files, database it will show. Okay, so what is a repository? Repository will telling repo file. What is the use of repo file? It will tell where is your packages location. So when you put a repo list, find out where is the location, L1 or something, and then connect it and download the package database. Then remaining commands are common. Yum info, whatever it is, yum install. This is the common things only. Remaining is common. Only thing is location of package. My intention is it's about to tell a repository. Okay, guys, understand this one? In your organization, no need to put packages in all the PCs. You have to take one central PC, put all the packages in one location and share through over either HTTP, FTP or NFS, and give that location in a in other PCs, create a repo.repo file. In that one, tell the location of packages. Remaining commands are common commands only. Okay? Because one more example only there. Do you understand this scenario or not? Guys, faster. Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Next. I will tell why I'm using a CentOS. Listen carefully. Guys, we are not having more VCs, right? We are actually not doing Linux environment creation like a enterprise like that, 4 or 5 Linux machines, a lot of works on the Linux. We are not doing that. When we download operating system, Linux operating system, and we install a Linux operating system, and we are working on it. And we want so many applications requirements. Sometimes we need for practice purpose only, not always to create our own environment, download all packages, keeping into one folder, creating a repositories before you start the doing all the things. So that is become more complex for our self environment in general. I'm telling. Okay. So what happened? There is a certain repositories, means the packages available in internet. So I put this server instead of my local, I put a server in the internet. I have a server in the internet. It contains the packages and they are shared through our internet. These packages database store in their PCs. Someone is maintaining, maybe a Red Hat, maybe a CentOS or Fedora or maybe a Ubuntu. Someone is maintaining these packages. We don't know. They store the packages in their systems. They share the packages through or internet. Now, what I have to do is I should know the location of these packages in my local PC. This is my local PC. In this local PC, I will create a .repo file. In this one, I will mention location of these packages. Remaining commands are same. Yum repo list, I put a yum repo list command. So yum repo list verify this file and check it. So the location of packages, contact this server for packages and download package database in my system. Then when I want to install application or when I want to remove, when I want to query, I can do it from my local PC. So in this one, you no need to download all the packages. Okay, you no need to worry about how to resolve the dependencies. You need to worry about how to resolve the dependencies. Very simple. This .repo has a file location of these packages through internet, how to download and information is there. So when you put a yum repo list like that, one more server is there, that is called a EPEL. EPEL release. If you download and install in your PC, you will get extra packages also. Extra packages like you don't need to worry about if you are using a Red Hat. By default, it does not contain any internal repo list. But if you download and install a EPEL from the internet, okay, so what happens when you install it? Automatically, repo list will be created. EPEL.repo will be created inside. Okay, this is the RPM package. Just if you install this package, it will create a repo file inside automatically after installation. EPL dot something demo something is there. So dot EPL related repo file will be created. EPL server is there. So Fedora server, like it will connect to that one, and directly we can able to install the applications from there. This is for our environment purpose only, not for enterprise organization. In your organization, you should not do EPL and this kind of stuff. That's why they are using Red Hat. But for ourselves, this is enough. So that's what I'm going to show you. Is very simple. This is a CentOS base, right? Less yum repository CentOS base. Okay, so here this is some description. Can you see base name, mirror list, location? This is the location of your server. Okay, this is the location. Base URL is a hashtag, means it is in a comment. This is the actual base URL. Now it is in a comment. GPG check one. GPG check one means check the key. Download using this key. So for a secure download purpose. And you can go to other one. Updates. Then you put yum updates. Okay, updates. Updates package locations. Okay, update package locations. Again, this is the extra. Like in one single file can contains multiple things. See, can you see this CentOS plus enabled 0 means this repository is 0. This link won't work. This part of link won't work. This is enabled 1, something not mentioned here. Yeah, enable 1 is not there, but it will work. Enable 0 means it is a disabled one. Okay, press Q. So when I put a yum clean all, what happened? It remove yum repo list databases. That repo list database will be removed, and when I put a repo list, it means the package database is there now, that will be removed by yum clean all. Yum list all, it means it verify all these repo files and which one is enabled, it download that databases. Can you see grouped underscore gz, primary underscore db? So these two are database files of my packages. So it connect through internet and download the package related database only. Okay, it downloaded. Now if I want to install some application, I can install applications like I just showed yum info httpd, for example. Now it is querying. So available package, can you see? Package is available. Name of the package httpd. This is the architecture. This is the version. This is for a CentOS EL7. Size, update, Apache HTTP server, description, and URL of Apache is showing here. Okay, so HTTP yum info HTTP. To install yum install HTTP. So it is downloading packages. No. It is querying the packages, whether it is the relevant packages are there, any package should be download. See, you can see I said install HTTPD, but it is showing a 4 more packages extra because these are the dependencies. If you install these things, then only we can able to install and use this one. Okay, I want to install this package, but 4 more dependencies are there. So normally we don't know all the dependencies. Some packages require 50-60 dependencies also. Okay.
Sir, are these the same user file?
Which one?
I mean, these packages where it will save
These packages,
in user. Yes, sir.
location is in remote. In internet only, actually these packages are there. When you
After
say
install,
install, it download in our system only. Download and
I
install
mean,
in our system only.
where it is location in system location? Is it
System
under
location
user?
slash USR only. Holler slash
Yes.
USR only. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Configuration files. The relevant configuration HTTPD configuration file stores in /etc. /etc. Configuration file stores in /etc. Packages stores in a /usr and sublocations. Commands related to that one is stores in a /usr/bin and sbin. Okay. So understand, guys. It is a package I want to install, but there is a dependencies. Now automatically dependency list also showing. When I press yes, it install these dependencies and the packages also, and it will clean automatically. It clean the download things, because if you download the package download is also in our PC, right? It will remove that downloads. Only installation will be there, not a package downloaded is not there in our PC. So what do you have to do? Yes, DN. Which option? I'm going with N. I'm not installing now because I want to show you again. So otherwise I can install it. Yes. See, it is a downloading those packages and installing that packages. Verifying install, dependencies installed, completed. Now whether it is installed or not, yum info again HTTPD. See, it is showing installed. It is showing installed. Yum installed, right? It is installed. So actually it is installed or not, how to check it? In a 2 ways, 3 ways we can able to check it. Cats, no, ls space slash var ww. So this folder will be came here automatically, okay, because of that HTTPD. Actually I didn't show you the services related kind of stuff. Okay. It is systemctl, because 7, right? Systemctl status HTTPD. Okay. So this is a service of the application. So this is a service of the application. It is showing inactive and disabled kind of stuff. The location of the service is /usr/lim systemd. Okay. So I will do all HTTPD later, not doing now. So I will show you, guarantee that is after lunch. Okay. And also you're asking where it is stores. Binner has been. So many are there? See, this is the command. Okay, this is the command. This is not. It is not there here. Next one is /usr/ share local. Yeah, I know. HTTP. Okay. So these are files related. Okay, /usr share doc. It means the documents related to the HTTPD. Documents related to the HTTPD. Conf HTTPD. So this is This file is configuration file of HTTP. In a Linux, everything is a file. Everything configure in the files only. Configuration files, command files, service files, or everything is a file. So it is not that much normally like GUI mod. We don't see anything. Okay, even if I install a GUI full Linux, if I install, I can't do anything with service related one. I have to compulsory use commands only. So commands are very important. Commands, files, open the file and verify the file thing is important. Okay, so this is very simple to understand what is a how to install application. I'm showing how to remove.
Configure.
Yeah,
Sir,
tell me.
by using this config command, is it configured now?
We can configure. We can change the setups. Change any
No, I'm asking
configuration
about
changes
that last
required.
command. LSCTC httpd/conf/httpd.conf.
Yes.
What if command works?
It will ls
will
means it will
configure.
display the line. That's it. That's nothing. If you have to go to that file, you have to go inside that file. Either you read it or maybe edit it. You have to edit as per your requirement. So if you go to VI editor and if you want to change anything, you can change it. Okay. So where is your server root, or maybe you want to modify anything. I will show you one or two example. Otherwise, users, you want to tell you want to define some user there. Virtual host.
Sir, I understood.
Okay, you want to define the location of. You want to define location of what is that one? Location of your pages, web pages. You locate it in different place. So you want to give not in a default you are using. You are using in a different place. Then you have to tell in this configuration where is your things. Can we able to access? Can you able to override port numbers? Which IP address should be accessible? Default document root. This is a default document where www.html is your default document root, but your document root is changed. Then you have to define it. It is by default configuration. If you need, you can change the configuration. Okay. So I went to VI editor to change. Lot of changes are there, like depends upon your thing. Okay. So this is all directories. Virtual host or a virtual directory we can create it. One single web server we can create a multiple websites also. Means multiple different type of links with a header or a port number wise also we can able to change it. My last point is how to remove HTTPD. It is removing only that package, not a dependency. See, it is removing only that package. HTTPD, sorry, yum remove HTTPD. That is the command I given here. Look at this one, and so I want to remove it. Why? Because of I want to show you how to install it again. So it is erased. Now yum info HTTPD. Now it is showing available package. So it is available. Later you can able to download. Okay. So this is it, guys. This is about your yum packages to understand. Not completed, but one more is there, that is I am not told. Yeah, some more yum commands are there, that is yum install. For example, I want to install a Java, like you can put it, or I want to install a Python. I can able to install the package that you understand. But I want to install something like a Oracle kind of stuff, that I have to download application. Before application, I have to install a basic development tools. Yum group install development tools. Yeah, I got, you got hungry. Okay, so yum group install development tools. all development means Java, PHP, like that. It is a C, C++. All development related packages will be installed. Like this is a one of the important is like you can install packages not as a single package. Also, we can install in a group package also. Yum group info. I am using development tools. No, sorry, quotation. See, when I put a development tools, I have to give quotation. I didn't give in, that's why it is showing like this. But can you see what are the packages will install if you put that one? So AutoConf, AutoMake, bin utils, like this. Make, patch, package configuration, git, GCC. Okay, like that. See, you can see Java package tools, Mercurial. These are all development tools. I want these all development tools. So then instead of installing one by one tool, I can able to. This is Django, DJAGNG. Okay, I can able to install all these things with a single command only. So I given a command like this for info I given, but you have to give install. That's it. This is one more command we can give, that is yum info. That, okay, guys, are you practice BC command, expr?
Yes, sir.
BC?
Base calculator. Yes, sir.
Right. It is working. What is the command to check the IP address?
I click on ADTR.
I have con.
Okay.
No, it's not in CentOS.
It is not now. It is working
No.
because I installed the relevant package.
Okay, but otherwise it's the command, sir. IPADDR.
What I done? Yum install net tools. I install this one. That's why the command is working. So for everything in a Linux, we think it is a common command. Sometimes it may not work. If it is not working, and then you must install the relevant required package. Okay. So I thought I will show you that one, but I already installed that one previously. So like that. Okay. Any command or anything, something, it is a command not working. Like for example, I use a Python command. Yeah, Python is already installed in this one. But I don't know which Python it is. 2. Yeah, that is a default Python. It's not working. I didn't give any quotations. Don't worry. Exit in a brackets. Okay. Python 2.7 is already installed in this one. Okay. So yeah, I can't do it. Okay. So whatever it is, this is the location. Like any question?
Lunch break, sir.
Lunch break question?
What's there in your lunch?
Nothing. I didn't cook anything. Nothing is there today. Also, guys, you asked one question, right? 1 second. Where application is source? So I put a find Python. This is the configuration location /etc/Python means if any file is in under etc, either it is an information file or maybe it is a configuration file or a folder. Bin,
So
it is a command.
In the source?
Which one?
That Python file. Python.
Python is already installed in this PC directly while installing OS by default, I think.
Okay.
It is installed. 2.7 only, not a 3.8, 3.9 or something. Okay, so this is the command. This is the Python command. I given a Python command, so that is this. That is the Python command. Because how I know? Yes sir, bin. Bin means commands. Share GCC Python. This is a document file. Documents location, configuration location, command location. So these three are a main important things. Location, default location of certain files access is also there, like a var kind of stuff. But in generally any application, like you want to install a Java, or maybe Java is already installed. Okay, Java, default Java is installed, not actually JDK. It is not there. Okay, maybe it is already installed. I don't know where it is. It's okay. Okay, I think understand the location of the application, configuration file, command file, document file. It is not there. Okay guys,